Welcome everybody back to the Midwest Dynasty Kings Podcast. Once again, we have another guest on, a very special guest in my regard, at least. But I'm gonna let Kaleem take it away. As always, you know how we do it over here. Go ahead, introduce the man.
No problem, no problem. We got a special guest, this evening. Gotta give a proper introduction. We got my man's Nick, aka Big Bro, you know what I'm saying, aka Never Cry Wolf, you know what I'm saying, aka 49ers, till he die, you know what I'm saying. I think that's safe to say. Welcome, sir. How you doing today?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you fellas for having me back on. I'm doing good. My Duke basketball team is sweating out right now, but trying to hold out hope. But yeah, it's good to be back on with you guys.
Okay, yeah. So for those of you who don't know, he was on before. We had a little technical difficulties, but now he's back. No technical difficulties. We're gonna have a very solid episode. But for those listeners who did not get a chance to hear the credentials and the stat line that you bring to the table, give a little reminder to the people.
All right. So again, I'm in multiple leagues. I want to say eight leagues. Out of the 8 leagues, I
That's
think I
hefty.
made 5 playoffs. I did make a semifinal. I did make championship. I didn't get the championship in this league, but I do have a little hardware finally, to take home. This is the 14-man league that me
Okay,
and Lil Bro in. That I
Mm-hmm.
was able to finally capture in 16 years. 16 years. Finally got it.
16 years.
16
Mm-hmm.
years.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
want to say Bijan took me to the promised land. George Pickens, as we talked about before, I have him in our trilogy, is my favorite player in the league, and he was on my roster as well. So shout out to those guys, Bijan and GP for, leading that charge.
Okay, so they stepped up. They stepped up. Okay, that's what's up.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
so as far as in the trilogy league for this year, uh, what's your feeling? What's your thought as far as how the season went? How do you think that you did in particular as a GM?
As a GM, man, I feel like I failed my team. I did because I feel like my
Oof.
team was good enough. It was good enough, and
Okay.
it's always that I could have made the championship, should have made the championship. It's always
Right.
going to be that team, and I hate to be that guy, but I did swap out Mike Evans week 1 in the playoffs because I didn't know what he was going to do.
Mm.
I was a little leery. He was coming off of those injuries, hamstrings, collarbone. I'm like, you know what? Let me get a week to see what he's going to be about. Made the
Okay.
wrong move. End up losing by 3 points. If I'd have stuck with my guns, played him, I would have been smooth. I would have been smooth week 1. You know, played it safe. And you know what? Those Thursday games we talked about. Those
Mm-hmm.
Thursday
Eh,
games, unless you got a guy,
super tricky.
they are tricky because you can get off to a good start, but you also don't want to get in that bag of, you know what, I only got 3 or 4 from a Thursday night game and you're already at a disadvantage. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know what, I'll sit him down. I play Debo, you know, which we'll talk about further. He is on the trading block. And yeah, yeah. You learn from your
Ah,
mistakes, learn from your
hate to
mistakes.
see it.
Yeah.
Hate to see it. Debo didn't pan out. You got to put on the block. That's
Mm-hmm.
tough.
Yeah. But still a successful season, nonetheless, did make the playoffs.
Right.
Um,
I was about to say
you know,
playoff. Right? A playoff appearance is not to sneeze at. So
Yeah, got to take it. You know what, though? I do feel like this, though. I know we'll talk about this, as far as buyers and sellers and, strategies and things like that. I'm a GM for the now. My organization's ready to win now. I know a lot of guys about the future, and the future is important. It is. But I feel like I'm
Mm-hmm.
for the now. I need it now.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's interesting. Now, I give a little inside, scoop. We had our first double recording today. You know what I'm saying? We actually had the champ on earlier, Nick. And
Oh, okay,
he
smooth.
actually was
Okay.
talking the same. He was actually he was actually talking the same thing. And he was like, forget all that future stuff. I'm here to win it now. I'm getting mine out the way. And he said I'm planning to stay there. So it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their own different, takes and stuff. So I wanted to kind of throw that in because he was preaching that heavy earlier. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like it's definitely a mentality. You have three different GMs in this league from what I've kind of seen. Me being a first timer in this dynasty thing, seeing the three different types of GMs. You have the win now, you have the win later, and then you have the ones that are just trying to keep it together overall. I feel like the win now guys are very, very dangerous because those teams can potentially be win now teams for the next 2 to 3 years.
mhm.
Yep.
Yep,
For sure.
absolutely.
So
So
speaking of that,
that's
I say speaking of that win now mode, you talk about off season. I know we're in the off season. Um, I don't want to be that guy to say, draft picks don't matter. They do matter, but when you're in a win now mode, I feel like this first round pick is not as important to me because again, I look at the people in the draft and I say to myself, prime example, I traded for Drake London in the offseason. I traded a first
Hmm.
round pick this season, and I think I traded I think a third round or something like that, like 2 or 3 years from now.
Yeah.
And I personally feel like this: the guys in the draft right now, they're talented, but I feel like I don't. None of them going to be Drake London to me. So I look at it like that. Drake London is still young. He's still young, and I feel like he's a budding superstar. So to have
okay.
him as possibly my third receiver now, you know, to go along with Malik Neighbors and to go along with GP, I feel like I'm in a good spot. And it frees me up to be able to do things with my other wide receivers because I still got Jacoby Myers, I still got Mike Evans, I still got guys out there that I
Right.
can move if I want to get. I'm not gonna get first round, draft pick for them, but I'll be able to get,
Right.
some kind of capital or, holes that I feel like I may have on my team. I can fill them with those.
Okay. Okay. What pick did
Okay.
you have in the draft?
I think I had 7.
7.
That's
Okay.
because you're probably looking at you're not going to get one of those top wide receiver prospects that are coming out. So you definitely made a move to get a top wide receiver that's already in the now. So that makes sense.
Right.
Right.
And even with what you just said, you think about that, like the top wide receivers, there's a hope. You're hoping, you know, you're
That's
hoping
true.
that they can become something. I know what Drake London is. I've seen it.
Right.
He had a great season this year, but he got hurt. But you know what? I do think like with Stefanski being over there, him not being committed to Penix, I think they're going to bring a quarterback in. Hopefully, they bring in Malik
They
Willis.
are.
Yeah,
They are going
Hmm.
to bring it. I heard Malik Willis is about to go to Minnesota.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
another good spot. It's a couple good spots for him. You think about that, like you said. You think about Atlanta, you think about Minnesota, and you also think about Pittsburgh or even Cleveland. Like all those spots, I can see him starting right away.
Okay. But I feel like for Atlanta, they're going to have to try Penix. They did not draft him first round just for him to have a very mediocre first year starting. They're gonna give him another go.
I don't know what that pick was really with the Kirk Cousins, and then you do that. Granted, I know you plan
Yeah,
ahead. Kirk not gonna be the future, but
but
it's
they
almost like they was kind
but
of scrambling. I don't know. I don't know. I see, like they was kind of real unsure.
definitely scrambling because they drafted an older quarterback. Like it'd be different if Penix was 20 years old.
Yeah. Mm.
He's like 26.
Yeah. Then he got the list of injury history, attached to him too. So
Right.
yeah,
So
it's a
they
lot to
probably
go
were
with.
scrambling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was never really in love with Penix. I'm gonna be honest about it. Just something about him, like their offense seemed a little stagnant to me this season.
Hmm.
You got to think about,
Hmm.
Kyle Pitts had a breakout season this year. You know, Bijan Robinson is arguably top three running back in football. You know, and Drake London
Yeah.
is a Pro Bowl, All Pro type receiver. Darnell Mooney he's okay, but you have weapons around you. You know, and
Yeah.
it was too many times I watched that team and they struggled to score. So
Which is crazy.
yeah, with that talent.
Yeah.
That's why I think Stefanski going over there, that's another reason I was happy about getting Drake London. I feel like with Stefanski going over there, because I know a lot of people are uh, probably against Stefanski because of the whole Shador Sanders situation, but I think he's a really good coach, and I think
Hmm.
that he's an offensive mind, and I think that their offense is going to improve, and they're going to make a run and win the division. So I would.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, he's going to bring his own guys in. He's he is a good offensive coach. He definitely handled the Shador Sanders situation kind of bad, but at the same time, like people weren't looking at him and saying he knows what he's doing because he's an offensive minded coach. They were looking at him like, he's not even giving people a fair shake. But we don't see what they do in practice, right? I mean, Shador could be playing terrible in practice. Like
All right.
if you're playing bad if you're playing bad in practice, why would I put you in the game? So I don't know. We'll see how he does in Atlanta, and like you said, with all those weapons. And it seems like you're definitely going to capitalize. If Drake London definitely has a breakout year in that sense. But I feel like you gave up your first round pick. It was kind of a shocker. I think you were one of the first trades that had happened after the season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a couple that I was looking at. Honestly, I was in between. It was always a receiver. I wanted another receiver. Mike Evans is up there in age. You know,
Okay.
Debo again. That we might as well get into it. Debo is on the block. Okay, Debo Samuel. You know, I think he'll make another run in San Francisco. I think so. I think he needs to get back to being that dual type of receiver. uh, get in better shape because this season, like I've never seen him that big, and he came a lot slower. You know, they didn't
Yeah.
utilize him as much, in the running game as I thought they should, especially with losing
Yeah.
Brian Robinson. They didn't have that true number one Bill Powell running back, so I thought that they would use him more, which is part of the reason I got him. But I feel if he gets back to San Francisco and he gets back with Shanahan, just maybe I may hold on to him, or I'll be able to get more uh, in as far as a trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who approached who in the trade?
So I actually, I shout out messages to Kmo, and a couple other guys, and I'll be transparent. I was between Nico and Drake London, for trading that pick. What led me to him was I feel like with Nico, I love Nico. I actually think he's a better receiver. I do, but in order for you to be the great receiver, you got to get on that field. And he in that blue tent a little bit too much for me. I
He
feel
is.
like Nico is a little bit more injury prone than what I like.
Mm.
Quarterback situation with CJ Stroud, I don't know what's going on. I don't. Unless he recaptures that rookie season, I think you could be looking at David Mills coming in to play. And if he comes in, you don't know what you're gonna get.
Whew, whew. That'd be
I'm
tough.
just
That's
being
tough
honest
sledding.
because you got to think about this. You got a defense that's ready to win now. How many times do you watch a
Oh yeah.
defense that's ready to win now and they're wasted because the offense can't even they can't be competent? And what
Yeah.
I saw is CJ Stroud in the playoffs and his teammates, they're saying all the right things. They are. But from a fantasy standpoint, the goal is to score points. And he's not doing a lot of that. 4 or 5 interceptions, fumbles, 140 yards, 150 yards. That's not going to cut it. That's not.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I don't know what it is. It could have just been a flash in the pan. They watched the film and now he can't adjust. We always talk about those sophomore slumps, especially with the QBs. So it's like,
Hmm.
okay, let me get past that and see what happens. But I feel you. I get it. And this defense is when you got a special one, that window is even smaller to me. When you got a special defense, you need to have that.
You
Everything got
got
to
to
be
have it.
clicking. Yep. Yep.
It is because you know what happens with great defenses. Trust me. Again, I'm a 49ers fan, right? So what happens? Everybody like, well, what happened
Hmm.
to all the 49ers? You have to pay those players. You have a great
Yeah. Yeah.
defense. Everybody sees you have a great defense. So you have to pay those players. You can't pay everybody. And depending on your situation with the quarterback, if he's not on a rookie deal and you're paying the quarterback, that's less opportunity to play somebody on the defensive end. So you got to be careful and leery of that.
Yeah. Yeah. You get real sticky real fast.
Hmm.
What
So
do you go ahead? Go ahead, Nolan.
I was gonna say, I'm looking now. Lost track. My bad. I'm trying to do two things at once. I was trying to look up to see who what would you have been looking or what? Okay, since you traded out of the first round now, what are you looking for now in those next rounds as far as fillers, if you're looking for anything?
Right now, I have a glaring hole. I do. I'm always open. My phone lines are always open. While we on this podcast, I'm letting everybody who's listening know. Everybody in the league, my lines are all listen. They're always open. Okay, and right now
Yeah, what you looking for though?
I'm looking for a tight
For
end.
wait, for what?
I'm
Tight
looking for a
end.
tight end. Tight end. You know,
Ooh-wee.
I feel like this. That is my only weakness is a tight end because Travis Kelce. I'm gonna be honest. If he doesn't retire, he needs to. That's just point
Hmm.
blank. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
You
he's
know,
done.
I don't like to throw around the word washed, especially for a Hall of Fame caliber player like that. But yeah, washed.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
The signs.
washed.
The
Mm.
Well,
signs are there. You got to know when to. Got to
it,
know when to walk away. I think he's still trying to hold, and it's like, no,
he
just
got
go
to
ahead,
he got
man.
to
It's
let it
cool.
go. He got to let it go.
Nah, he
And
might.
my other tight end, I say yeah, my other tight
Mm.
end is K. Otten, and I like Otten. He's okay, but you got to think about that offense, right? So again, I think Mike Evans still has another 1,000 yard, 7 touchdown season in him. I know you want to hit at Kmo because you got a Buka, but I think he needed a little bit more seasoning, under the tutelage of Mike Evans for another season.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
Godwin, I think Godwin will be back, healthy. I'm a big Bucky guy, so I just think I don't have the opportunity. He won't. So that's the whole, and that's what I'm looking to fill in the draft. So I feel like this, even if I stayed in the first, there's not a tight end there
And
in
then
the rookie class
yes,
that
there
I felt like,
yes there is.
yeah, but me personally, if we're talking about the same guy, if we're talking Oregon, I'm not in love. I'm not. And
Okay. Okay.
I'm just being honest. First round for me, I'd have been locked in on a guy that I know I can't get because I would have to need the number one pick to get him. I'm not being biased because I'm a Notre Dame fan, but Jeremiah Love, I think, is head and shoulders to me the guy I would want and a guy I would need in the first round. So it's like I feel like this: if I'm not getting him, then I'm okay with trading out of the first round.
So who? What would you give up to get him?
Well, I wouldn't at this point because you got to think about it. Running back wise, I feel like I'm set there too because you got to think. I have both Seahawk running backs now. Charbonnet, who looks on the cusp of taking over, just tore his ACL, and K9 looks rejuvenated. So now K9 steps into next season in a whole different situation. They're going to win tomorrow, and then he's going to be riding high on that. You're going to be looking to capitalize on a big payday. So I think having him, and I still have Kyron Williams. Kamo, you got my roster still up? I have another running back too, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Kyron Williams. You got of course, K9,
Hmm.
and trying to see. Well, you was riding Vidal a little bit when Amari and Hampton went out.
Yeah,
Uh, Trying to see who else.
Kareem, Kareem Hunt.
Oh, and then of course Judkins. He went
yeah,
down
there it
late.
is.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Yep, yep,
So yeah, I'm set. Yeah, Junkins will be back. So
yeah.
I'm straight. I'm straight to running back. So Nolan, to your point, I wouldn't jeopardize my future to go get Love. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I
Really?
got the ability.
Okay.
I got the ability to go get him, but I just wouldn't. I wouldn't give up what's needed to get him. I like my nucleus of my team. I do.
Interesting. That's an interesting take, considering the fact that, um, you possibly could deal a couple pieces, couple picks, just to fill that slot, especially when, you don't even probably have to give up a whole lot. But I mean,
See,
if you're not trying to,
see, I think Love. So who has the first pick?
I do.
Okay. Okay. So I think a little bit. It's just us talking here. I don't know, Kamo. I think you in a way maybe are undervaluing Love a little bit. Am I reading you right with that?
It's about
Oh,
me.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't value running backs high at all. So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't, and like I've made it known, I've made it clear. But like if there's somebody out there who wants that dude or who wants the first pick, listen, I need stuff. I have gaps within my whole team. So if you could fill those gaps and you could have that first pick, by all means. I'm not in love with, especially a running back. Not in love with the running back at all. Now, if the best player was, let's say, a wide receiver, if like let's just say next year, because I feel like Khalil might have a top pick next year. We all know somebody coming out of Ohio State. That's a different player. He is the player that I would go after.
Oh, that's fair enough. I mean,
hmm
yeah,
So,
that's fair enough. Now,
yeah.
I
I'm
ask you a
not.
question with this is, what if, just what if,
Okay.
he gets drafted by Kansas City? Does that change your logic? Because Kansas City's up there now. They're high.
If he
They're
gets
high.
drafted by Can if he gets drafted by Kansas City, and let's just say it depends on where the two wide receivers get drafted. If one of those two wide receivers get drafted to a great situation, I'm passing on Love.
With Patty.
Oh, so all
Huh?
together,
Altogether.
interesting.
Because
Now,
it,
now,
because
I
here's my
find that part interesting.
because here's my thing, right? I like to think that people have almost the same logic as me, as if the running back is in a terrible situation, they're not getting that my pick is now my first pick, because they want Love, is now not worth as much. So I need him to land somewhere where it's like, oh, he's going to be dangerous. And I know I was talking about before, if he lands with the Saints, I feel like if he lands with the Saints, that first pick for Jeremiah Love, that value skyrockets.
hmm Just
Yeah.
because how New Orleans get down with the running back,
So I mean, but if he lands with like the Jets, like I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm going with one of those wide receivers. I'm gonna make
Mhm.
everybody. I'm gonna shake it up. I'm gonna shake it up completely. I'm gonna make everybody else have to wonder why I passed on Love. Like, man, why? And then if you draft Love, and if he doesn't do anything, then it's like you picked up somebody who I foresaw he wasn't gonna do anything.
So,
hey man,
so
that's tough.
that is tough. So with that, you hold all the chips because you got the first pick. So
Yes.
you will put it out there that what I may not take Love. So what if somebody says, what, that receiver that you want can still be there, maybe two or three or four, to have you slide back down? Would you do that and take one of the other wide receivers?
Oh,
Or is it,
oh.
or is it one
If
receiver
I'm
that
getting
you just
it,
don't want?
well, there are two receivers. really there's one, but there's two receivers that I do want, and I hope that they land in great spots. But it's not that like I'm not gonna give up the first round pick just to get just to not get a pick in this same draft. I need a pick in this draft. And if you're picking, in honesty, if you're picking four and below, I should say five and below, like you're gonna have to give me a lot because now I'm probably not gonna get who I actually want within that top five. So I'm gonna need a lot more because I am giving up not only the first pick, but I'm also giving up who my second or third pick would have been as well. So
No, that makes sense. I have to keep that in the back pocket, though. Having that second pick, what I'm saying, right after you. So, not sure if you tuned in to the other ones, Nick, but I'm working on told Nolan talking more freely. You know what I'm saying? Now that we do this podcast, I can't keep holding stuff in. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have content. You know what I'm saying? So, I'll let you know, sir. Out of the top three, the top three receivers after Love, I feel like you pick your own little flavor or ice cream that you like. Every receiver get
Right.
their own little thing, but my top one is knocking on wood that love don't fall in my lap. I'm definitely gonna go Makai. I'm gonna go with Makai as the second pick. So you have that insight information as well.
Yeah, I'm hearing Makai. I'm hearing his name a lot. His
Yeah,
name is starting to like skyrocket. You know what I'm saying? It's I think again, like I say, I think he's going to be a really good receiver. You look at Ted this
yeah,
past season. Ted Ted had a really good season. He
yeah.
did. I mean, he went over 1,000 yards, and the Panthers started. I think they started off slow, and
Mhm.
but I think he's going to be really, really good. So
Yeah,
I get it. That's what I
yeah.
say.
No.
I get it. The young receivers are good. That's why I feel like with my team, I'm set up for success because if you think about my guys that I'm riding with, they're all young. Blake Neighbors is young. Drake London is
Mm-hmm.
young. GP is
Yep,
young.
yep.
Yeah, he just got franchise tag, which I don't like for him, but you know, he's not gonna walk away. Look, he's not gonna walk away from 29 million. Trust me.
Right.
yeah, and it might make him play better realistically if you really think about it. Like getting franchise tagged, you go ahead and get that money. That's cool, but you still want that long term contract. You see everybody else getting long term contracts. It's like you gotta play. You have to ball out to get that contract. So whether he's gonna get it with Dallas or somebody else, he might ball out realistically. I mean, between him and CD, like he might ball out. And if he balls out, let's say Dallas does pay him. I mean that's it. So he gonna take this money. 29 million. That's nice, but he wants that long term contract. I know he does.
He
Hmm.
does. Yeah. hmm
Yeah.
So, Kmo, you got two first round picks, right?
No, no, no. And this one just one.
Oh, okay,
Nah, that's
just
next year. He's
That's
he
next.
he's
Oh
sitting.
yeah, you talking about?
He,
Oh, that's
uh,
next year. You talking about? I got two.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I saw how strategic you was with that too, getting that first
Look,
round
look,
pick
look,
for
look.
next season. Right. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a discussion, of course. Had Tyree on, of course, and we got to talking about it. And he said he was like that he told him you let Kmo fleece you for
Yeah.
that pick. Yeah, he told me.
yeah,
But yeah, man. Like I said, I don't know what's gonna fall. You know what I'm saying? He can have a good run. That could be a background pick, but I figured, you know what I'm saying, I got BTJ in both. That was my whole reason. I got him in the sequel. So I'm just hedging my bets, really. I'm like, I'm gonna hold him in the sequel and in the trilogy. I'm like, let him go and see what I can get, pick wise. So,
Yeah.
so
Well,
yeah, that was my thing.
being transparent, I did make a run to Bijan, so you guys know I did. Prices, listen, price is too high. I went in the store, I didn't have
Okay,
enough.
okay.
Listen, I went there with money, but I didn't have enough money. So
Oh, so you
yeah,
that's
I
actually
did.
tough.
might be the person. You actually might be the person that Tyree discussed to
He
us actually
he
on
he
the.
he was talking about
Yeah,
I
he
that's
didn't
did.
say
tough.
the person name, but he said what the
I
package
did.
was, and we was like, whoa.
Listen. Like we doing a podcast, we got to put the cons. We got to put it out there. We got to put it out there. I did.
Yeah, huh?
I
Uh huh.
did. I was engaged in talks. We were engaged.
Okay. Okay.
Price is just too steep. It was too steep.
Okay.
You know.
Can you
Yeah.
confirm that for us? Because he told us the person was three first round picks. Is that would that be correct?
It was 3 first round picks and like a player. So it was like, yeah,
Oh,
that's yeah, yeah,
oh, he didn't even tell us
yeah,
that part. He just said
Yeah,
three
yeah. He
first
didn't say the
rounders.
player
yeah,
part.
Yeah,
That's
he
yeah,
had
crazy.
yeah,
us. He had us in. We was like, oh, that might be something you might have to entertain. He didn't even tell us the player.
yeah.
He just said three
Yeah.
first rounders. Oh, that's crazy.
You know, and you know me, you Nolan's, you know, because we had talks. You know, I don't know if you want to bring up, but yeah, me and Nolan had talks, and yeah, it's too rich. Some of
Okay.
y'all prices is too steep, which respectfully, and
Oh
I'm
no.
like, you know,
Hey, I feel like it gets that way sometimes. I mean, when you're trying to move certain players, um, you got to see how bad the other person wants that player. I mean, realistically, like,
hmm
I like to always say everybody has a price. It's just, is that person willing to pay it? That's it.
Yeah. Mm.
yeah,
So I mean,
Okay.
because like
Okay.
I know I've said before, like I'm not married to any player at all. Like everybody can get moved. The only person who probably has a standstill and on not moving is probably Amon Ra. But even him, realistically, if you come at me with like a great trade package, hey, he might have to go. Go ahead, pack your bags, buddy.
yeah. I'm happy he brought that up because I'm like, yeah, that was the guy, that I was
Okay.
targeting, but prior to. So you had to know once I got Drake London, yeah, that killed all chances of me getting him. But I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, shoot or shoot. I
That
shot.
makes sense.
Always good.
Yeah,
Always good to know and hear back deals. You know what I'm saying? A lot of back deal talking going on. So good for the
Listen,
league.
what I say, hey, I'm always open. Always open. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of trade talks that do happen,
hmm
and they've somewhat stalled right now because we don't know. I feel like personally, we don't know where these players are going to land.
Right, right.
Because if they land in the worst possible situation, like I'm not drafting anyone. I'm not like there's
Mm-hmm.
certain teams. I think we talked about it before. That you just want to steer clear. One of them being the New York Jets organization.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta steer clear.
yeah,
Yeah. Certain teams. I get it. I get it. But yeah, they
yeah.
well, just a mini pivot but tie-in. But now that you know Kyle Lemon is the flavor of ice cream that I like, Nick. That's actually why in the sequel, that's why I tried to, I'm trying to make sure I get in position. I don't want to play any games. That's why I made the offer I did to, Mama Dukes, you know what I'm saying? So now when I let y'all know
Yeah,
that trade proposal was sent over. So I'm just trying to make sure I get that. Because if I don't, I may be looking to trade. I may be looking to potentially trade back. But Makai's really the one. Makai really the one I want, but not to jump leagues. But that's kind of my thinking.
yeah. That's interesting to know.
Yeah.
And speaking of tight ends, because I know originally, that's what we, was talking about. My holes and what I need. Do either
hmm
one of y'all got a tight end?
I do. I have Sam Laporta, and let me tell you, uh, I don't think I put him on the block, but he can be.
hmm Okay.
You know,
And when
I'll
Nick,
come.
me and you
Okay.
have talked. Oh, go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I'm about to say, yeah, yeah. Kmo, yeah, I know we had talked. We were right there. We were. We actually did
hmm
have a deal in
hmm
place. Laporta does sound good. It does. So we don't put everything on the podcast, but I will definitely be in
hmm
contact with that one.
Okay.
You know.
It's like I said, everybody's on the table, man. You just gotta be willing to pay that price. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that Laporta is a top high end tight end that you gotta pay top dollar for because to me he's not. The only reason I picked up Laporta was I was hoping that he was going to um still kind of capitalize off of what he did last year when he got hurt. I was like that's tough. I was like I'm in tough sledding right now. Um,
Yeah.
because even in our draft. right? It was, I thought about drafting Colston Loveland, and I was like, ooh, man. But then I saw Laporta. In my head, I was like, Laporta, he's a guarantee. That's what I thought. I was like, he's a
Hmm.
guarantee. And now looking back, obviously Colston Loveland he's balling out. Um, it is what it is, Trey McBride, he's balling out.
Hmm.
It's one of those tough things. But I feel like Trey McBride, I feel like he's uh what do they call it? He's a charlatan. I don't think he's gonna be that good next year.
Really?
Really?
So
I don't know.
let me ask you both in this situation. Speaking of that situation
Hmm.
over there, do y'all think Jacoby Brissett is going to be the answer? You think they let Kyler go?
I think they not only do they let him go, I think they're gonna trade him to somebody and they're gonna get a nice haul for him.
I don't know
Mm.
where his contract. I've not watched. Is he like in slap dab in the middle of a contract? I don't know. He still got some
Yeah,
years on this contract, right?
to my knowledge, he got years left on that contract. He does.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought. But I gave him that big money and stuff. He's still in that contract deal. I thought. Okay. Yeah, I think they could trade him. It seemed like they kind of at the wits end. You can feel the energy not right when it comes to Kyler and the Cardinals. So I can see a trade. I mean, but to answer your question with Jacoby, I mean he's just gonna be a bridge. This is more so to me. This is a bridge QB. He a flash in the pan right now. He's not. If we see him for a full stint of a season, no, I don't believe. Seeing these glances of him and little flashes, that would be opportunity. If it was me, I'm like, okay, trade block, sell him while he high, do it now, and then get whatever you can get for him. I don't think that's gonna be. I don't think that's gonna be nothing that's gonna come on.
because I feel like one of the teams that is gonna try to make a push for especially for Kyler Murray is the Jets. Because the Raiders are not going to because they're gonna draft that Mendoza kid. Um, I've tried to figure out other teams that like need a quarterback right now. Um,
I guess
I
it
don't
kind
know
of
if
go back
there's
to the
any.
same things you were saying about the Vikings. I know.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
the
I mean,
Vikings. I
it's
mean,
only a couple.
Pittsburgh, Atlanta. I mean, if you think about Atlanta wants to make that experience again with Kyler Murray,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be something, but I don't know what they. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. I didn't know what money and cap space they got to take on that big contract too. So.
definitely the money aspect of it.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, I don't think McBride. I feel like McBride is not going to be. He's just like old buddy from Oakland, Brock Bowers
Hmm.
Mm.
had that great year and then stalled out, got hurt. Kind of limped his way through the season. Like you're either a great tight end with consistency or you're just a flash in the pan. We've seen flash in the pan tight ends before.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
think about
it's
with
tough.
that Raiders situation is the fact that I think it was the poor quarterback play, and Geno Smith. Geno Smith was so bad this season. So I think Brock Bowers was just a product of his environment this season because I think he's going to bounce back. Now I agree with you too when you talk about the McBride situation. I still think he's great, but when you have years that great, it's hard to reproduce that the next season. Does he finish tight end one next season? I don't think so either. I don't. I think Brock Bowers takes that step. I think Colston Loveland takes that next step. Um,
And he got that Packers tight end. People forget about that dude, man. He was hurt. He got hurt early.
he was.
Hmm.
He's coming back with a vengeance. For all the Bears fans, he did say he's going to be back next season. So
Yep.
he's looking forward to
So
getting
he's
back
a
when
he's
Chuck
he
Pat,
he
that is.
he.
Yeah,
So I feel like tight ends now are slim pickings. They are you either have a really good one or you just have a filler.
yeah, absolutely.
So
Or somebody who about to
if you're looking
retire,
for
like I do.
Hey
yeah,
man, hey, the offer still stands, Nick. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple tight ends for you. The offer
We,
still stands.
listen,
You want to come change your
hey,
mind?
hey, Kamo, listen.
Uh-huh.
We right there. We just in the wrong year. That's all.
Yeah, that's
That's all.
okay.
We right
You just
there.
try to push it back on me.
That's right. We just in the wrong year. Right
You just trying
spot,
to
wrong
hold
year.
that one.
That's all.
Okay. 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 I have to
Yeah,
revisit, look at
I feel
it.
absolutely.
like he's gonna. I feel like a trade might happen after this episode.
No,
Hmm.
hey, no, hey. Anybody who know me, that's me. If you see like who really made a trade at 1 o'clock, yes, me. That's me.
Right,
Always
right.
open. You got
That's
to get it
funny.
done. You got to get it done.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hey, you gotta strike it when it's hot, I guess.
absolutely. Back with a vengeance this season. I gotta get one this season. I do.
Yeah.
So so
Okay.
so is that your outlook for this upcoming season? Is that the goal? Is that the end game? I was gonna ask like
Championship.
what do you think about the future? But I think you've made it pretty clear the future is a chip.
The future is now. I don't know if you guys have done this yet. Every time I have a draft, I go through my biggest regret of who I felt like where I messed up at, or where I could have went better. And I had an opportunity with JD5, and it's nothing against JD5. I think JD5 is still going to be great. But anybody who knows I'm a Josh Allen guy. I am.
Mhm.
I know Josh is I know he's a little older. But that's the one where I was like, I really did just sit there and draft JD5 over Josh Allen. That's the one that I'm a little about because I think Josh is going to be great for a little while now.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Speaking of the regrets, for me, it was just 2 rounds. The number one off bat in the round 6. That Caleb Johnson still stings. You know what I'm saying? I just still like just beat myself up. Of course, the Junkins is right there. I believe that was yourself. You picked it right before. I think after I picked Caleb, you went Junkins, or right before. I can't remember how the turn went. And then I did Caleb. That burned me when I knew I really wanted to go Tyler Warren there. Nick. Of course, I'm big on certain players. I got Tyler Warren, the other one. You know what I'm saying? Amika. Certain guys that I'll be pressed on. But I saw Caleb and thought like, okay, I didn't think he'll be right here, a third running back. You know what I'm saying? So I got a little, or trying to be too pretty. Came to burn me up a little bit. But yeah, but how the game go?
Yep,
Nolan, what
yep.
about you?
I feel like honestly, is this is gonna sound crazy. And it's because of this player having the season that he had, but Lamar Jackson. I I genuinely it was a stretch, but it was also
Hmm.
one of those things where in my head I was like, if I could solidify my quarterback now, I don't have to worry about a quarterback because that's the one thing that people tend to worry about is who's their quarterback going to be? Is it a carousel? Is it this quarterback's on? Are they on this team? What's their system? Whatever. I feel like with Lamar Jackson, I was like, I shouldn't have to worry about it. Cool.
Hmm.
He's drafted. He's picked up. All right, and realistically, he's the focal point of their whole offense. If he doesn't do well, then the offense don't do well.
Yeah.
And I like quarterbacks like that. So, but at the same time, it was a stretch getting him that early. I could have gotten some other players, but you know, it is what it is. He's hopefully he has a great season, or if I'm able to move him for certain players and or picks, I could definitely do that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just
No, go
because
ahead.
I got smart towards the end. I picked up Cam Ward. I picked up Old Buddy from New Orleans. So I picked up younger quarterbacks, knowing that they're going to be terrible this year. Also got Stafford, as Stafford just said, he's coming back. So, for those people that need that right now mentality as far as winning, Stafford's an MVP quarterback. What more do you want?
Yeah. No, I get that.
so. Here's another question for you guys because I'm in a situation too. When you have quarterbacks like multiple guys that can get the job done, do you stick to that one quarterback? Like, you know what, Lamar Jackson's your guy, right? So you're gonna play him every week, week in, week out, or you're gonna play the matchup because you got two great ones.
So right now, I would have to play the matchup right now, just because of how well Stafford did, and whatever. As far as, and also because Baltimore has a new coach, I got to look into all that. I mean, but that guy out of New Orleans, he started to play well towards the end. Cam Ward is still an experiment. I'm hoping Cam Ward comes out next year and lights it up because I'm trading him. He is going to be traded. Because I know somebody that's gonna have one of those older quarterbacks, and they're gonna want somebody new. They're gonna want somebody who's doing great, and that's cool. I got him for you, but you got to give me something for him.
No, I think that's a good strategy. I do that too. Part of my strategy is going through y'all rosters. I do. I'm that guy. Like I need to see. Like, okay, what's Nolan lacking? Okay, I see who he has and what he's potentially looking for. I think that helps you. You know, it does. If you know more about your opponents and what they may need, you can use that to your benefit.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I think
absolutely. No, I get that. For me, if I had to say with the QBs, if I don't have two like top seven QBs, this is a one QB league. I'm gonna if I got just two solid people, like for example, for me, I got Baker Mayfield and I have Drake May, and then even Shadur as a third QB. Those are two. I'm still not sold on May. I still need to see more. You know what I'm saying? I don't consider him as top. So they both middle of the road. So I'm playing matchups. I'm not gonna ride with one over the other. If it was more clear cut, then I'd probably be more willing to like trade the other and then just ride with like Shadur on the bye week. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Right.
But they both kind of just in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Till one of them really, really show me something.
see, I'm in that situation right now with JD5 coming back next season.
Hmm.
I got Dak Prescott, and Dak's in a great situation, especially with
Yeah.
GP being back over there, franchise tagging him, and the defense still trying to, get to a competent, level to where they're not giving up 35, points a game and having to get into these shootouts. But while
Yeah.
they're getting into these shootouts, it puts me in a tough spot because it's like I got two of them,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So sometimes having two great quarterbacks and playing the matchups can go against you because you try to overmanage and then you play the wrong one, you know. So obviously with me, JD5 is my future. So uh, Dak would be on the market, unless I'm blown away for an offer for JD5. I would have to get blown away, especially considering JD5 is much younger, than Dak is. I think Dak has, 4 or 5 more years left, but I mean, JD5 is just getting started. But again,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
only person, and I put this on record, that is not on the market, and everybody knows this for me, is my favorite player in the league. Shout out GP.
Okay.
Really. So he's not even in consideration.
He's not. And I'm going to tell you about it. I've had multiple people come up to me for GP, and it's something about winning with your guys. I know it's a different league, but when you got a
Hmm.
favorite player and you win with that player, it's going to heighten your level of that being your favorite player. I'm telling you.
Hmm. I
Nah,
get that. I
nah,
get it.
nah. I don't get it. Every player got a price.
Hey,
If
hey.
I want, I tell you right now. Here's what I tell you. If I want George Pickens, I get George Pickens.
See, and that does that. You know what? And no, I'm happy you just said that. But see, came on the flip side to that, right? You get that person, and you like, you know what? Like, I'm stubborn. I'm gonna show you. I want that because you say I can't have it, and I'm gonna go get it.
Uh,
And now I'm gonna
uh,
overspend. And now, if you
yeah.
want to overspend and do things like that, then it's like, okay, all right, yeah,
I know. That's what
you're
I'm
right.
saying. No,
Yeah.
I know
Man.
that's how it usually goes. But like, hey,
Yeah.
on if somebody else needs that player to solidify their
Hmm.
team, they're gonna go get him.
hmm
No,
That's
I
true.
feel
I
you.
agree.
So
Certain players you really rock
that's it.
with. It's only a few
Right.
to me. It's a small handful that I'm willing to like overspend. I'm not really trying to. I'm always trying to be fair in the trades for the most part. I ain't on that. I'm gonna start off trying to get over and tax you and do all that. We wasting each other's time. I'm not gonna. That's being disrespectful. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna come to something, some type of at least middle ground where it ain't nothing crazy. And then even if you counter, we can come to some. It's just a couple, maybe three players. So I'll be like, all right, I'll throw you the house. So I understand with the Bijan, back to your Bijan proposal that you threw out there. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Certain players are
Yeah, I mean,
just
if it's, I feel like if you throw, especially for Bijan, like that's you know, because we had obviously discussed it. The moment he said what was initially first offered, I was like Bijan could go home. He could go. Pack your bags, buddy. No, what? Pack your hey, pack them bags.
I can't
That's
remember what you
crazy.
told. I think what was your words though, and you was like, "No, you couldn't have been offered that because there's no reason why he's still on your
No.
roster right now."
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. When he first brought it up, I was like, ain't no way. I was like, you're lying.
Yeah,
I was like, I was like, there's no possible way that that happened. And you just said no.
yeah,
Yeah. 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 True story. It's a true story.
yeah.
Because,
Yes.
Mhm.
I tell you right now, if somebody offered me 3 first round picks for Amon Ra, you're gonna close your eyes, open them, and next thing you know, Amon Ra's in a whole nother roster.
Look, right.
Like,
That's funny.
man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah.
that's how I go.
But yeah, yeah, that's I guess that's how things go. But man, that's because I feel like because you wanted Bijan that bad, right? That's the way. And like I personally feel like he was trying to get more than what he would have gotten from anyone. Like that,
Right.
the 3 first round picks is more than he would have gotten from anyone. He just didn't realize that.
Yeah.
He didn't realize that nobody else was ever going to give him that kind of offer at all.
Mm.
So the fact that you did give him that offer and he's still trying to get more, I'm like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know. That's
yeah, if you just said 2 first rounders, I'd have been like, okay, some people might do 2 first rounds, but three
yeah. That puts it over. You could do a lot. You could do a lot of moving, shaking with that. So
because you
Hmm.
could trade those because you could trade those same picks just to get some more pieces.
mm,
But it is what it
yeah.
is. All right, so before we head out of here, what we did with the last guest is I asked them since we're in the Super Bowl week, because I think you had said Seattle was going to win, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Give me the score. What you think the score is going to be for the Super Bowl?
Okay. I got Seattle 27, and I got New England 21.
Ooh, okay. And then the MVP,
I'm seeing ghosts to MVP. Drake May. Not Drake May. Sam
Sam
Darnold.
Darnold.
Yeah, Sam
Okay.
Darnold.
Okay.
Wow. All right, all right. Your picks are now locked in.
hmm
Um, we're gonna ask around the league itself. Actually, we should probably do that tonight. Ask
Oh,
the
right,
league,
right.
hey, those three things. For the ones who weren't able to jump on before, just ask
hmm
them like, hey, um, picks, whatnot, and we'll get to see who wins, and then at the end of it, actually, no, Colleen didn't even know this is going to happen, but the winner of it is going to get a special prize from the Midwest Dynasty Kings podcast. So
Oh, nice.
that's what
Okay.
that's what we're going to put out over the chat. But yeah, so hopefully your picks win. That'd be nice. But appreciate you coming on. I know like the first go, like we said, was a little shaky. Had a little technical difficulties, but we're back.
Yes.
A great episode. before we sign off, if you want to give either a shout out, a talk your shit, whatever you want to do, as far as what you got going on, now's the time to do it.
First off, I want to shout out both of you, Nolan and Kamo, for having me on. Anytime you guys want me on, work on our schedules. It is an honor. I love sports, so I love talking sports. I love fantasy, and I didn't win a championship in our league. That's the goal. My goal is to win a championship in
Okay.
every league that I touch. But I mean, I do want to hold this, because I know it's people, on there who like, man, who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? What did he win and stuff like that? This is a 14-man league. All right. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if anybody's in a 14-man league, but a 14-man league is with one bye. Okay. They do it
Mm-hmm.
just like the NFL. All right. 7 teams get in the playoffs, one bye. I got that bye. And just put it this way. I was number one all season.
Okay.
Enough
Okay.
said.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
14-team league is tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's no
Yeah.
joke.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, as always, like I said, appreciate you coming on. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. What you got for us, Kaleem?
Nothing much, man. Appreciate you again as always, Nick. Always much love. 24/7. You know what it is. So appreciate you, sir. And then, that's all I gotta say. Ready for the next podcast. Tune in.
Yep. And look
All
out for those
right.
trades. We offline. So yeah.
Hey,
All right.
trades are gonna be happening, people. Trades are gonna be happening.
Hmm.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate all of our listeners. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
y'all make everything happen. All right. All right. Peace.
Peace.
Just do.